Thanks for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the front page of the Blueprint. The major story here says, DSS on May 29th, Tinubu inauguration, key political actors plotting interim government. Key political actors plotting interim government. And the writers here says, once any attempt to thwart democracy will be crushed. Cautions judiciary, media, CSOs on yielding to plot. You find all the details on the front page of the Blueprint. We'll move now to the front page of the Leadership newspaper. Interim government plot. Security experts, politicians warn against repeat of June the 12th crisis. Interim government plot, security experts, politicians warn against repeat of June the 12th crisis. All the details on the front page of the Leadership newspaper. And on the front page of the Nigeria News Direct, DSS uncovers political actors plotting interim government. And the writer says plot to stop May the 29th inauguration real. Plotters plan to use protests, court instruments. Warns plotters would bear consequences of law. All the details on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. Mike.
All right, I have this Nigeria here, and it says DSS warns against plot to stop Tinubu swearing in. Says misguided elements behind the conspiracy will be dealt with. We will resist interim government. The Swagger is saying that, all right? Swagger is an political organization in support of Tinubu. All right, that's this Nigeria. First News is next, and it says DSS unmasks misguided politicians behind interim government. DSS unmasks misguided politicians behind interim government plot, all right? That says that the masterminds planning to obtain frivolous court injunction to stop Tinubu's inauguration. And they plan to sponsor unrest that will warrant declaration of a state of emergency. All this you see on the front page of First News. Daily Trust is next. Governors-elect pledge better deals, receive certificates of return. My family won't have a role in governance. Abba Gida is saying this. It's one of the new chief executives coming in. It's a new dawn in Benue. Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia is saying, I'll be governor for all rivers. Fubara is saying this, right? That's the Daily Trust newspaper. Business Day is next. Moribund mills. Paper imports go up 1.63 trillion naira in 5 years. That's the last one we're looking at right now. Veronica?
Mike, let's look at this story that has been generating reactions since yesterday when the DSS, through its spokesperson, Peter Afunanya, came out to say that there are indeed plots about some persons who want to foist interim government and are saying that they want to perhaps, they are plotting. Let me just look at one of the papers. It says that plotting interim government, key political actors warns that any attempt to thwart democracy will be crushed. That's the DSS speaking, and is cautioning judiciary, the media, CSOs on yielding to plots. You know, you recall that leading up to, after the presidential election, we began to see reactions and persons began to speak with regards to the outcome of the process. And then we began to see statements about interim government. We've even had conversations here with regards to people reacting and saying, calling for interim government. And now the DSS, who is a major intelligence organization of the federal government, saying now that indeed there are persons who are plotting that.
Yeah, the DSS will not just come and make a statement. I've heard some people said, oh, they're raising a false alarm.
Alarm, yes.
The DSS, they conduct their business in secrecy. In fact, they are secret police. That's what they are. Now, when the DSS comes out to make a statement, you should know that they have gathered adequate information or adequate intelligence to come out to say whatever that they have said. Now, the call for interim government or whatever some people are calling for, a lot of people are speaking from the perspective of inadequate information at their disposal.
Absolutely.
The Constitution does not allow for anything called interim government in Nigeria. The last time we had an interim government was in 1993, after the annulment of the June 12th election, headed by Ernest Shonekan.
Yes.
And it lasted for about 82 days, less than about 3 months, and that was it. So, a time where an interim government is warranted, it could be in a situation where there is war, massive war, that the government is displaced one way or the other, or there's a revolution, or there's a natural disaster in such a way, in such a magnitude that either government institutions or whatever are all subsumed in that process. If you don't have that kind of a situation, then every other one should be democratic.
That's why he is saying that these people are trying to get, perhaps obtain frivolous court injunctions, they are looking at carrying out protests.
There is no court in Nigeria that will issue an injunction to prevent the inauguration of a president or a governorship elect. There is no court in Nigeria that will do that. Now, the grounds to which that will be done will be the nullification of the person's election based on evidences that the person didn't win.
Absolutely.
We saw the case in Bayelsa State a few years ago. So that is possible. But obtaining an injunction to prevent somebody who won and is declared elected by INEC to say, you shouldn't conduct this, on what ground are you going to do that? So the point there is that Nigerians, we have seen some political parties have gone to court. Yeah, of course, it's a good thing. Go
Why
to
can't
court.
we just leave this
So
case
allow
for
the courts to.
It
seems they are intimidating the court, or it seems they are forcing the court or preempting the court to come up with a certain kind of judgment. Allow the court to do their thing. Now, when it comes to the issue of protest, of course, Nigerians have the right to protest in the eyes of the law, so long as you do it within the ramifications of what the law allows you to do.
Right.
But I will feel that you have gone to court, so sit down and wait. The court will come out with their judgment at least before it is expected before the inauguration, so you know whether
the direction,
the prayers that you seek with the evidence that you have tendered to the court will say, okay, based on this and based on that,
be in your favor,
this person is now the winner from what we have seen. Yeah. So INEC issue certificate of return to this person, whatever the situation is, but allow the courts to run its course. You have had confidence in the court. That's why you went to the court in the first place.
Right.
So allow them to do their job. So people who are coming with the idea of no. The point there is the Nigerians have confidence in the DSS. Nigerians have confidence in the police. They have confidence in the military and all of the security agencies, where they are not going to let that happen. People might be mischievous in however way they want to be mischievous, but the point there is that it is a democratic process. Allow it to run. If you have grievances, go to court. If the court rules, you may like it or you may not like it, whatever the thing is, go back home and re-strategize for the next election. There will always be election until the end of the world. So the cycle of election will always continue. But a situation where an election, the outcome of an election, you don't like it, and you want to destroy the entire system because you don't like an election, what kind of situation are you trying to create?
Right.
So the point there is nobody's going to allow that. Nigeria belongs to everybody. Nigeria belongs to all of us. And because the wise men who put the constitution together already envisaged a situation where some persons could be aggrieved. That is why the election tribunals were created by law. So we have subjected ourselves to an electoral process. We said INEC will conduct the election. Whatever INEC comes up with, we will agree. All of those things were, of course, that is not to say there's a perfect election.
Absolutely.
INEC, there were issues of irregularities here and there. You cannot say it was this political party or that political party or this political party alone. You cannot say it was this candidate or that candidate or this candidate alone. It happened. But the point there is that if you feel so unhappy with
Agreed.
the outcome, gather all of your evidence, tender them in court. We have seen cases where the courts have upturned elections in this country before.
Absolutely.
We've seen cases where
That's why we have off-season election.
off-season election. It was a product of courts coming to say, no, based on this evidence, this person is no longer the winner. This is now the winner. We've seen it happen before. So why don't we have the confidence in the same courts? So the issue of interim government will take us back 200 years. We don't need it anymore, and it should never, in fact, it shouldn't ever even have happened in Nigeria. But it happened under the military. The military itself is an aberration in governance. It's not supposed to even be in the first place. But that is a part of our history now. But going forward in a democratic setting, there cannot be an interim government. It is alien to Nigerian system. It's alien to the constitution. It's alien to the conventions of Nigeria. If there is a constitutional amendment and Nigerians feel, okay, National Assembly, let's infuse a situation where there can be an interim government. For instance, if that happens and the constitution recognizes it, fine. But if that doesn't happen, as it stands right now, it's totally alien to the Nigerian system, and it should never be allowed. Of course, the DSS, they know what to do.
Absolutely. There are those who are calling for the DSS to name this person.
It's not for DSS to name anybody.
Name and shame them.
No, it's not for DSS to name anybody. We don't even expect DSS to name anybody. They will not name anybody. They've already, the information that is for the public has been sent to the public. The issue of the individuals, DSS knows what to do with those
them.
ones. Even if they are arrested, you may never hear that so person has been arrested for this or for that.
Right.
DSS already knows what to do. Because if they go naming people, that is going to create another sentimental issue as to, okay, this one is from my place, or it's from my tribe, or it's from my political party. That is why, blah, blah, blah. DSS, they know what to do. They will not name anybody. But they will go about doing their job. The information for the public has been given to the public. It's just for everybody to be alert. It's for everybody to be conscious. And in fact, to have even put that information out, send signals to those who are plotting the thing DSS already knows what we are doing, so let us stay back. So DSS is prepared for all of those things. And they are only saying now that whatever plan you have, shelve it.
And stakeholders
go to court.
Should be at alert.
Exactly. Everybody be on alert. Yeah. And they have talked to the judiciary, the civil society and media as well. Yes. Because these are institutions that sometimes these people leverage on to send home their message, as the case may be. So the media is there, and we are watching. For us, we will do anything that we have to do to protect the democracy of Nigeria. That's what we will do.
Absolutely.
As much as we give platform to people to air their opinions, but it's not to incite anybody.
Absolutely. And that's a fine place to leave the conversation here this morning.